This is round 1 of a 9-person draft that we had at Gongaii Games out in Beaverton, Oregon. At the top of the screen is Steve playing a Spellslinger, and at the bottom of the screen is Landon playing a Necromancer. So it looks like they're finalizing their mulligans. They're doing second player Seer, and they're going to get started here. Landon playing a Valley for turn 1. Passing turn. I think creating the skeleton. Yeah, Steve, turn 1 with a Valley passing turn. The other guys, like, this is a really casual event, so the other guys just kind of giving Steve a hard time on his Seer choices. Landon beginning his turn 2 here. Surprisingly drawing a sight for turn. He must not have liked his threshold splits. Tapping for an accursed desert to the center. And then moving a skeleton up, creating a second skeleton, passing turn. So that's the power of Necromancer, especially in a limited format. Like, even when you don't have like 1, 2, or 3 drops, like, you still get the skeletons no matter what. So you're getting that free value, essentially, like free in quotation marks, every turn that you can pay the 1 for it. Steve tapping for a Leadworks. And then 2 mana for it ignited, charging into the Cursed Desert to deal 3 points of damage. I think Steve might have been better served holding on to the ignited, and then using it potentially as more like removal for future threats that Landon has on the board here. I'm not sure. I think the thought process maybe was with Steve was that just like he needs to race Landon the door, otherwise he's going to get mobbed out by all of these skeletons, and so he's just trying to push as much damage as possible as fast as possible. And again, like the skeleton march going forward here, Landon no 3-drop, but can still pay 1 to create a skeleton and can start the attack in to Steve's sights there. Steve's third site, another wasteland as well. Meeting in the center of the map again, adjacent to Landon's. 3 mana in his mana pool. Let's see if he has a 3-drop. Order the White Wing. Order the White Wing can be quite good against a Necromancer, just because it prevents any summoning unless out of hand, so it would prevent skeletons from being summoned. The key, though, is that the Order of the White, the order has to be nearby the Necromancer in order for that to take effect. I think it might have almost been a little bit better for Steve to play it forward more, so play it onto his wasteland, because then it threatens to be able to move on to Landon's wasteland on the next turn, and then deny the Necromancer, start denying the Necromancer that ability to create skeleton tokens. But the positioning on the home site there is a little defensive. I think maybe a little too defensive. Unfortunately for Steve in this game. Landon taking a look at his options here. I think he's thinking about the order, and he wants to be careful just because he has probably figured out as well that if it gets near his avatar, he's not gonna be able to create skeletons, which is a big deal. But again, I think Steve giving Landon a huge opening here by not playing the order more forward. Landon playing a Blade of Thorns onto a skeleton, and then swinging in with it, so that makes the skeleton 4 power. Playing a Silent Hill with his avatar, I think that gives him 1 extra mana in his mana pool to create a skeleton, which he does. And he's going to pass turn. End of turn, Landon will take 2 points of damage from the Blade of Thorns. Or not damage, it's life. It's technically life loss on the card. So you can't kill yourself if you're at door holding a Blade of Thorns, but you will take 2 points of, you will lose 2 points of life every turn if you're able to. Steve tapping for a 4th sight, another wasteland that brings his mana pool up to 4. And then again, unfortunately, I feel like the positioning on the order was maybe just a little too cautious on the home site there. The position that it's in right now, it doesn't feel super great. Like he could move forward, with it, or he could exchange he could kill a skeleton. It would knock the ward off though, which I think is not preferable. He is taking advantage of that Silent Hills that was played last turn to sneak out a lesser blood demon. And because it comes in silenced, the Genesis does not proc, and he doesn't have to lose 2 life as part of casting that thing out. So that was fortuitous. That was fortuitous to be able to take advantage of that for Steve. Landon tapping for another site. He's going to play out a Valley. Here comes Gargantula. 4 power for 4. It is going to drag and disable the Lesser Blood Demon. So the Lesser Blood Demon is now disabled unless an ally is at its location and taps to re-enable it. Landon getting a bunch of attacks in here on his turn and then moving up. And I believe he has one mana left to again create another skeleton. So just keeping the value train running here with Necromancer. Just getting favorable turns here every turn so far in the game to be able to have the 1 extra mana to create those skeletons. It is common for people to tap minions when they disable them, but tapping something is not actually a function of disabling a thing. And I think it often leads to a little bit of confusion, because then people think that because it's disabled it's tapped, and that is not the case. I think it can get people in trouble sometimes if they re-enable something and then don't realize that it should be untapped at that point in time on the board. Steve getting a pretty good flare play out here, playing a flare onto the Leadworks, and that is able to remove the bulk of the skeletons that are currently on the board for him at that point in time. He does unfortunately have to take a point of damage, and he does unfortunately have to knock the ward off of his order, the White Wing. He did a quick rollback there, so he just changed the ordering on what he was going to do there really quick. Instead of moving the order to the Wasteland, he moved it up to Leadworks to end it on that site instead. Landon getting a desert out, not making use of the ping. They're just truing up life totals here. 3 for a Begone to Begone the Flare, which I think that's kind of like the floor power level of Begone, just trading it paying 3 to remove something that costs 3 or 4 or 3 power. But that frees Landon up to basically push for door here, which is what he does on this turn, and then pushing advantage with a crawler on the board, which puts Steve in a very difficult position. Steve playing a smite. I think he was trying to smite the Gargantula, but I think he thought Gargantula was a monster. Gargantula is a beast, so that doesn't quite work. He doesn't have enough power to kill it just with the strike, and it won't banish it because it's not evil. He's rolling that back just because he didn't realize that, and that's fine. He's going to play Pitchfork instead onto the Order, and then attack to trade the Order with the Gargantula. Pitchfork drops to the ground on top of the site, and unfortunately that was all he could do. He's going to pass turn, but I think in Steve's mind that buys him a turn because it removes the minion threat attacking straight in on the next turn here. Landon trying to drop the Blade of Thorns, but Steve reminding him that an ability on the Blade of Thorns is that it can't be dropped, so he has to keep holding it and he has to keep losing 2 life a turn. The Crawler moved forward, it picked up the Pitchfork. Landon getting another Hellhound out, moving a skeleton forward, creating another skeleton. So the march towards the Spellslinger is pretty strong right now, and Landon is just looking for a way to corner Steve and to get the final death blow in here. Steve playing a Lord of Destruction defensively, just because he needs a potential blocker. He's Landon moving his minions forward and then just smiting to do the final strike onto his avatar. So that was a pretty quick round there. Unfortunately didn't quite work out for Steve. Landon just getting a ton of value that Steve wasn't able to answer with those skeletons this game. That was round 1, and we'll move on to round 2 next.